For tonight's True Scary Story, I got an email from a girl who said that she went to New Orleans and she thinks that she met a vampire and his vampire family. It is definitely one of the crazier stories that I have gotten. So tonight's story is pretty long, so I'm gonna have to talk pretty quickly, so bear with me. But tonight's submitter's name is Stacy, and she will be tagged in the description. She did say that I could tag her and use her real name. So Stacy was in New Orleans for a solo trip. She did this for a kind of recharge after a crazy few months. Bourbon Street was lit that night. Music pouring from every door, people everywhere. She ducked into this quiet jazz bar in between two louder spots. More shadows than light there, and that's where she saw him. He had these insanely bright blue eyes, not contacts, not even natural looking. They glowed under the dim bar light, almost electric. He was tall, very well dressed, smooth as hell, as she put it, and the name that he gave her, Malquette Creative. That's genuinely what he told her that his name was. He said that it was an artist name. She kind of just laughed this off and thought that maybe it was like a New Orleans thing. They had a few drinks, nothing crazy, but they clicked instantly. They talked about music, art, conspiracy theories about the world and earth, and even about vampires. She was the one that mentioned vampires, and when she did, he just laughed and changed the subject. That was the first red flag that she didn't notice. And they also talked about how weird and beautiful the city was. And he mentions that he lives a few blocks away, but that he's staying at a guest house, and this guest house that he's staying at is the same one that she is staying at. Total coincidence? She doesn't think so, but he said it was. She was on the second floor and he was on the third. Now she thought it was fate, or maybe too many drinks, but the next night he invited her over. He said his family was having a little gathering, super chill, just wine and good vibes. She hesitated because who invites somebody to a family gathering after one day? But there was something about those blue eyes. She said they literally pulled you in. Like when you looked at them, you could not say no. Almost like she needed to follow him no matter where he went, and like she needed to be with him, even though she just met this person. At this point, she's like instantly falling head over heels for this person, which was very odd to her, but she did say yes, she went. The house was big, old, Creole style, in Treme. High ceilings, iron balcony, smelled like old books and incense. But the moment she stepped in, she noticed that everybody in the room had those same glowing blue eyes. Every single one of them. That's when at that point she kind of was like, this shit is getting a little weird. There were 6 others, all elegant, all African American, and all like they stepped out of another time. The women wore flowing dresses, the men wore fitted suits, and they were sat around a long, dark wooden table. At the center of the table there were glasses full of something thick and red, which she assumed was wine. There were little decorations everywhere, which she just kind of laughed. She thought that this was like a themed dinner party. But no one else was laughing. In fact, the mother made a comment that she was being rude to Malquette. The mother then makes a comment, is like, she has to drink it now. And at this point, Stacy is like, drink what? And she literally says out loud, drink what? Water? What do I have to drink? And at this point, she's getting a little uncomfortable. So she's like, I'm not drinking anything. And Malquette looks at her and he goes, you can't leave until you drink. So Stacy just freezes. And then one of the women in the flowy dresses, she said she was beautiful, like ageless. She just pushes a glass towards her. And the woman looks at her and says, it's tradition. So Stacy at this point, being terrified, picks up the glass. It's warm, but not wine warm, body warm. The smell hit her first. Salt, copper, something's wrong. So now she's like, I'm uncomfortable, I want to leave. And Malquette